So this one picks up right in the heat of battle with Gowan going all out, trying to take out Zushin and Mirakim, or however you pronounce the names for them. Dude's throwing massive attacks, fireballs flying, ice shields cracking, it's pure chaos out there. Then the man himself, Cheonyeon Woon, pulls up in an advanced nano suit, looking like he's just upgraded to god mode basically. One terrifying new demon sword technique later, a black line that literally slices through space, and Gowan gets cut clean in half. He didn't even get the demon god special that he usually dishes out by taking off arms. He meant to, he said that, but he ended up just cutting him cleanly in half. The Blade God, now watching from afar while retreating, straight up realizes that Cheonyeon Woon has ascended to demon god status. After that, we get some respectful moments honoring the late Arqui, the combat divine. Cheonyeon Woon going to say that he is the era's greatest martial artist who broke limits through pure human spirit, where Cheonyeon Woon and the Blade God had interference from the future. Ho Sang-hwa gets hit with the feral black energy, goes berserk with insane power, and Hobong has to step in with fire chi and his axe to subdue her. I really like the action in Nano Machine, and this is an absolute great chapter for me. Moving on to the pacing and structure of the chapter. First, we'll start with the pacing, which was excellent for this chapter. Fast and brutal in the opening fight sequence, then it slows down just enough for that respectful aftermath and lore setup before slamming us with the new corruption hook. Structure-wise, classic Nano Machine, big action climax first, the space slicing one-shot into the emotional and reflective beat in the middle, which we'll show by honoring the combat divine, then a new and sudden tension spike with Ho Sang-hwa's corruption to keep the momentum going into the next chapter. It doesn't drag at all. The fights feel cinematic and over in a flash in the best way. The middle section gives us breathing room without killing hype, and the ending leaves you on a what the hell just happened kind of cliffhanger. Solid structure overall, tight, purposeful, and perfectly balanced for a mid-arc chapter. Now moving on to the character components that we can draw from the chapter. For this one, we'll start with Cheonyeon Woon. He is the star here, obviously. We're seeing him fully embrace, or I guess you could say he's being forced into his demon god role. The precision issue is pretty hilarious and a little telling. He wanted to just sever the limbs like he usually does, but his power has scaled so much that he sliced Goldwyn in half. This shows the growth in raw strength, but also the struggle to control it at this new level. He also shows maturity and respect by properly honoring the combat divine's legacy instead of just power leveling past it. He also has a strategic mind too. He's already thinking about decoding the Blade God's manuscript. Speaking of, we'll go into the Blade God, where he gets major respect as an observer. His reaction cements Cheonyeon Woon as the real threat now, no more underestimating. Next would be Ho Sang-hwa, and she gets a big moment. Her corruption by the White Tiger's feral black energy shows vulnerability even among strong cult members. She's not just a background fighter anymore. This could be a major arc for her. And just like the chapter, we'll go through these list of people and we'll land on Hobong, who shines as the reliable fire user who steps up to contain the threat without hesitation. Definitely coded as the team player who handles the unexpected mess type of person. Overall, characters feel alive, power scaling is real, respect for the past is shown, and new internal conflicts are brewing. Next, we'll move on to the story progression and lore components of the chapter. Story-wise, this chapter wraps up the immediate Goldwyn threat by a one clean shot victory for Cheonyeon Woon while advancing the bigger picture. Cheonyeon Woon is now publicly recognized, at least by the Blade God, as the Demon God. Huge title drop and power confirmation. The cult is recovering from previous big events such as the White Tiger fight and consolidating at Demon God Mountain. Some of the big lore drops that we had in this chapter, going by points, the first one would be the Combat Divine. He's confirmed as one of the all-time greats who pushed human limits to the extreme. To the second point being Blade God's manuscript, and explicitly tied to future-altering intentions. This ties back to the time travel and nano origins of the story, and sets up potential major reveals about timelines, fates, or how the Blade God was trying to change things. For the third point, we'll go over the White Tiger's corpse and its feral black energy. Its new, or expanded lore, I guess, on ancient beast and corruption mechanics. This energy is wild, animalistic, and dangerous even after death. It instantly overpowers Ho Sang-hwa, showing these power sources aren't safe to mess with. And for the final point, we'll talk about the nano suit upgrades and Cheonyeon Woon's new demon sword technique, which I'm going to guess is some type of space slicing. This is kind of some direct power progression from some previous chapters. The progression feels like we're moving from external battles into more internal cult and political plus mystical threats, while Cheonyeon Woon solidifies his position at the top. Now on to my final thoughts of the chapter, and this one was a strong chapter. The fight was really hyped, and the demon god acknowledgement hit pretty good, while the White Tiger corruption plot thread is perfect setup for chaos in the coming chapters. Shanyan Woon continues to cook as an overpowered but still grounded protagonist who respects the game. I think one of my nitpicks for the chapter would be that the precision moment that was funny could probably have been a little bit better by maybe not cutting him in half directly, but maybe doing some other funny things with it, which could have been funny, I guess. I know if you're a fan of the series and you keep seeing him cut off arms, definitely a lot more that could have been done with that scene. But this chapter delivers, and for me it's an 8.5 out of 10. Not the absolute peak of the series, but a very satisfying chapter that moves pieces forward very nicely. So what did you guys think of the chapter? Did that sort of pique a lot of the interest that you would want to have moved ahead in this chapter? If not, then I guess we'll see what happens in the next one. And with that being said, I will see you in the next chapter when that one drops. All right, see ya.